presented by allaccessretail.com. Welcome to Conversations on Retail. Join Brand Elverston as he speaks with Tony Madden, Managing Director and CEO of Phygital Lab by Hypervision, to discuss the use of AI-powered holographics in enhancing shopper experiences. Let's get started.
I think the most important mission of us is, first of all, it's customer experience, but the second is sales per square meter, which is the most important measure for retail.
The right size, at the right time, in the right place.
You don't know exactly what you have. You don't know the sizes. You don't know even the garments, the SKU.
When I embrace a new technology, I try to see whether or not it can solve more than one challenge that I have. With WiseSense from the beginning, we have an excellent teamwork. The self-checkout kiosk is only one of the projects that we're doing with them. We've already done an RFID tunnel project in our DC, which is a breakthrough in RFID technology, not only in Israel, but across the world. The stock accuracy is amazing, numbers that we have never seen before.
After the first year that we embedded the system, the authorities approved that the system is counting on 100% accuracy our inventory. This improved the replenishment accuracy by more than 20%. So this only piece was full ROI after 1 year.
Well, in H&M, it's mass production. It's a lot of product, and you cannot analyze every corner in the store. You need to have automation that will give you this data. Normally, you do it manually and you do it by observation. So it takes a lot of time. And at the end, when you have so many garments, you just skip it. And then you go into reduction. And then you lose a lot of money on the product.
We call it find in store.
You go to the fitting room, you pick your garments, you pay with your phone, and you go out of the store. If you want a bag or not, depends on you, and then it's super, super fast and convenient. Biggest advantages of WiseSense was the fact that they were very agile. They were willing to do adjustment on the way. It's a tailor-made system that fits our inquiries, our procedures. So the way that they learn the system, the way that they learn our processes was the key for the great outcome that we have. I'm not talking about the commercial package and prices. They were fair. They were fit to our ROI. We switched. We had another supplier, but we switched to WiseSense, and I think it was a wise decision.
All right, good day, everyone. Welcome to Conversations on Retail. My name is Matt Pfeiffer, and I'm excited today to be joined by some folks that I've gotten to know just recently, and by an old friend as well. But today we're going to be talking to Shuki Aden and Sharon Doran from Israel-based WiseSense, which is a technology company that develops hardware-based software solutions for connected retail logistics and mobility applications. Their WiseTags help retailers improve the shopping experience and streamline operations without compromising on security. So welcome to you all. Thank you so much for making some time today to visit. It's good to see you.
Thank you very much. Good to see you as well.
I've said this before, but we love learning everything we can from Israeli-based companies. We're so excited to have you join us today. Tell us a little bit about what WiseSense does.
So WiseSense is, as you mentioned, is a technology company. So we are developing a whole suite of solutions mainly for the retail and the supply chain industry. I mean, we've been dealing with different type of IoT-based and RFID technologies, hardware, software, and so on for various, I would say, areas and sectors. And over the last few years, we decided to focus on the retail space and the supply chain, as we see that we bring value to a demanding market where most of retailers, mainly in the fashion and apparel, are getting into the RFID, and some of them are already there, some of them are in the process, and so on. So we decided to focus. We saw that we can bring some value into this domain, and we develop our own unique solutions and technologies into this area. We have with us Sharon. Sharon is a partner and our chief product officer, and she brings a lot of background from the retail, security, and loss prevention area, where she used to deal with this domain for, I would say, at least 10, 15 years now, Sharon. So please, Sharon.
Yes, correct. Yes, since, today are retailers looking for not to solve a specific problem and with a specific tool. And our offering is to help them to solve many problems with the same technology. Okay, and my background is from the EAS technologies, RFID technologies, and so on. So we help them to see the big picture and to improve the customer experience. Of course, reduce the loss.
Yeah, Shuki, I didn't introduce you very well at the very beginning. You are the founder and the CEO of the company. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you come to start this company.
So it's an interesting story. My background has always been in the area of technology and innovation and entrepreneurship. I've been dealing with this space for at least the last 20 plus years. We've been in the area of connected mobility, and we saw this opportunity to have a very interesting technology and business line from a company that has developed some of the technology in Israel, and we decided to acquire the technology. We saw that there was a large stake from technology offering, customer base, and running projects. So we have acquired this, established this into WiseSense, a broader offering. And from the beginning, Sharon, that used to know this technology, decided to join us. We had her on board to head this retail offering. And we saw this basic opportunity in the area where we met with Nike, where they were looking for they were just introducing RFID a few years ago. So they were just looking for different type of use cases to have with RFID other than just inventory. So we suggested them to do some self-checkout based on our RFID background. And they said, okay, that's an interesting, but then we have to deal with, the loss with RFID. So there's a barrier between customer experience when you want to give something, a very seamless, frictionless experience, and then you have to deal with the security measure. So discussing it internally, we came up with our WiseTag technology, where we bring, our embedded existing technology with RFID active technology, and we've converted this technology into the same form factor that the customer are already using in retail space. So these are hard tags. So we took the concept of hard tags, we embedded our technology into it, and we made the WiseTag, which be a very similar to a hard tag, but with active RFID technology inside, to make a very simple, smooth experience for customer to just walk into the store, scan the WiseTag with the attached WiseTag to the garment with a QR, and sit on his mobile, pay for it, release it, and just walk away. So that's basically the experience. And this is basically the story of taking an existing technology that we had for generic solutions and how to make it, how to adopt it and pivot it into a specific domain. And this is where we believe will bring value.
JW Franz is the IoT director for Barcoding, great friends of the platform. It's great to see you as well this morning. Tell us a little bit about Barcoding's partnership with WiseSense. And I want to sort of get into the weeds eventually and talk about what the plans are for the US market, but just give us a little bit of background on the partnership.
It's been a great year to get to know Shuki and Sharon and the WiseSense team I'm at. And I think as you kind of indicated, this was a newer partnership that we actually just kicked off at the beginning of this year. And we've come to know each other quite well, working on a daily, weekly basis, to say the least. But no, the reason that we initially started talking to WiseSense in the first place was, as Barcoding's been, further investing our solutions largely based on our ISV and OEM network. We really kind of had to evaluate the landscape to see what would be one of the best partners, ISVs, technology partners for us to work with that are clearly focused in this space. So back in the beginning of the year, I was introduced to the WiseSense team through, coincidentally, another Israeli-based company known as Tagbit, who is an RFID tag manufacturer. And through that mutual relationship, the introductions to Shuki and Sharon just kind of seemed to be very natural and progressed quite aggressively. And through that, we've been working quite closely with them on a few different customers this year. So a lot more great things to come, but definitely it was time well spent working with them this year thus far.
Yeah. So I'll put this question out to the three of you, and anybody can jump in. Contextualize your capabilities with respect to the U.S. market. How do your capabilities apply? What's your vision for the U.S. market? And what would you consider your sweet spot? What are the kinds of companies, size, stage, category, however you want to describe it, where you would seek to do business in this U.S. market?
One of the things, Matt, that was very advantageous in working with the WiseSense team is, their solutions are not just focused in the supply chain, meaning the DC. They're not just focused in the store, and they also attend to the needs of the consumer. So, looking at truly an end-to-end solution offering and be able to have that flexibility to work with different customers that have different areas they want to focus in on. Some customers that we're working with, and have a clear focus in the DC space. Others have a focus in the store based on their maturity or adoption of RFID to date. So, we are working today with a lot of big retailers across the U.S. Those that are large. Some of those customers are in the sports apparel business, if you want to call it that. And others, more in just general retail, general merchandise, as well as fast fashion. So, we are actively working with different customers across the U.S. and also into the Canadian market. I don't see us necessarily branching outside of that too much next year, but time will tell. So, so that's kind of where we're at today. And Shuki, if anything else you want to add, please feel free.
Yeah, so far over the last few years, we've been dealing mainly with, I would say, European-based organization like H&M and Inditex and so on, which brought us, great experience from, market leaders and understanding what's the best way to position the solution, how to make the solution adaptive enough for them to make sure that it is correlated with their, business goals and use cases. And the fact that we're working with JW mainly and the team in Barcoding and future to be Decision Point as part of the merger bring us, I think, a lot of value from understanding, the US market needs, and we do see some differences in the sectors. I mean, definitely from advanced to reach opportunities. I mean, in the US market is totally different scale, and secondly, we do see that in terms of matureness. The market is pretty mature to see and experience new technologies. These kind of customers, led by fashion and apparel, and other retailers follows the strategy of RFID. Although it's a huge investment, they do understand, the value that this technology brings to them. And I think that the fact that we bring, as JW said, we bring a total solution, an end-to-end solution that could be either delivered as a whole suite, or can be delivered as a one-by-one module, no matter whether the customer already have some kind of an existing solution for a specific use case, we can integrate into that. I think that brings, the power of being flexible and to meet customers' needs. And this is basically our strategy. And the other thing that I think is the advantage of joining forces with the Barcoding team, and again, due to this merger, as we got, a broad entrance into almost any place in the US, thanks to their, approach into having, different type of market segments, zones, almost any territory in the US they covered with their sales force and their tech support services. I think we couldn't find a better partner to be working with in the US for our solution. And the fact that they also understand the market, and this is quite unique. Yeah. There are many players, there are many integrators, but they do understand, how to deal with this specific segment. The supply chain and so on brings us a lot of, I would say, capabilities to ease the delivery and the entrance into this huge, giant market in the US.
Well, I've been thinking, since our initial conversation, my gosh, it's such a crowded space. There are so many companies that are working, to solve similar problems. And I think that's the real genius behind the partnership with Barcoding is you've got somebody that can contextualize your capabilities for the U.S. market and create real points of differentiation. So we didn't talk about this before, but I want to ask now. I'm based here in Bentonville, Arkansas. I would call it the center of the retailing universe with the headquarters of Walmart, but I might be a little bit biased. But a lot of the folks that follow us really look at retail through the lens of mass retail, like Walmart and Target. And so what would your solution look like at a retailer, at a mass merchandise retailer like Walmart?
The way we see it, every retailer has its own, I would say, progress and plan and strategy within this RFID arena, let's call it, okay? Because it's a journey. It's a very, very long journey. It touch point on so many aspects, from supply chain, loss detection, customer experience, inventory visibility, so many aspects, and it touched, the deepest points of the organization that it takes a while from one side for the organization to understand the impact. And I think that Inditex is, from our point of view, is the leader in terms of implementing RFID and what you can gain from it. It's a huge investment, but the fact that you can gain a lot of data and information about all aspects of your business, I think that's tremendous. And that helps them to become, the way we see it, number one. Okay. And for players like Walmart, which are starting, in different type of zones in the retail space, not only fashion and apparel, which is quite easy to adapt as most of these industries there. You're talking about groceries, you're talking about some very heavy metal-based products, which make some, challenging, like big size products and so on. So there are many aspects that you need to consider. But the fact that they have their mandate already to their suppliers to force them to do source tagging, that's I would say a good progress. Okay, I know that they've been there, they had some challenges, but they fixed that. They have a better I would say strategy now. And from the advantage for the retailer and the customer is that mainly their experience, the visibility of their inventory, because retail is mainly about inventory. The more visibility you have on your inventory, the better you can achieve your business goals, whatever your inventory is. So it's all about having the right product at the right time, at the right place. Okay? Yeah. This is what it's all about for retail, to make sure that you're going to get whatever you want, whenever you want, and wherever you want it, right? So that's basically, I'm leaving aside e-commerce, right? I'm talking about retail experience, the outlet itself. So RFID it's a very tiny, I would say, technology, makes a great impact about this visibility in all these touch points.
And Matt, if I can add to something that Shuki said as well, because he was talking about the consumer experience. One of the things, and to come back to one of your questions earlier about how we're approaching the U.S. market as well, is as Shuki said, different retailers we're working with have different go down different paths, have a different journey. And one of the Fortune 100 retailers that we're working with that's largely focused in discounted clothing and home good accessories and such, for them, based on their business model, the consumer experience was helping them, was to help better serve them through their shopping experience. So they weren't necessarily concerned at the moment about inventory per se because of how their business is structured. But they wanted to ensure that displays were set up appropriately. That way they could merchandise product. They wanted to track carts and other things that serve the customer so that way they can have a shopping cart at their disposal to buy the products that they want. So it was interesting just to see, as RFIDs matured and new capabilities present themselves from a hardware software perspective, the different use cases that retailers go after as well. So certainly, as Shuki indicated, inventory visibility is kind of the foundation for that. But based on some of the business models that some of these retailers have, they're also looking at it from a different perspective, which still serves the customer at the end of the day.
We have so many conversations now, about inventory visibility and for our retailer to be able to prioritize exceptions and so forth. But at what point does the technology become useful to a consumer that can walk in the store and not have to guess where it's located and just go right to it?
The way we look at it from, as you said, from customer experience point of view, I mean, there are three aspects for the journey. Let's call it the customer journey in the retail, right? One is you want to know what's the variety, right? The other thing is you want to get whatever you want and understand where it is, right? And the last thing is you want everything to be smooth and fast, right? So you want to take it, pay for it, hopefully, and just walk away, right? That's basically what you want from customer experience point of view in the retail space. So RFID in general and our solution in more specific, we bring them everything in that respect packaged as a digital experience. So the fact that you can walk into the store and using some kind of an overhead technology that will monitor in real time all inventory, no need to do manual hand scan anymore, although this is the common practice, but this is the future, we believe. So having real-time overhead RFID technology that is monitoring visibility of your inventory in real time, correlate that into the relevant products and the exact location and trailing of these items, bring from customer experience, is a few. So I'm opening my mobile, I can see the exact location of the items that I'm looking for. I can browse and get some other new products as a promotion or whatever. I can go try it on, scan the tag with the QR, as I said, while I'm in the fitting room. Yeah. Okay. Pay for it and walk away while I'm shopping something and I just add it to the basket. I know that there are different approaches and so on, but mainly in the fashion and apparel zone, there are not that much experiences, right? So you want to create a much more experiences due to the fact that the cost of products are relatively higher than in the grocery store. So hence the reason why they do tagging, how tagging, EAS, loss prevention. It's a totally different game. So providing them a digital experience with all the information from the customer experience, I think that's a great experience. But also from the retailer, the amount of data that you gain, and you can understand how many items were actually on the shelf, how many of them were traveling into the fitting room, how many of the converted into sales, very similar to what we are used to have like in e-commerce digital information. We bring the same level of data and insights into the physical store, which helps them as more likely 80%. I think the common number is that 80% of revenue is coming from physical stores other than e-commerce. Then this is something that they are lacking. And with this kind of solutions that we bring to the market and together with our partners to implement this, which is a totally different game, is make retailers understand better what customers are looking for, how much time they are spending in specific areas, what are the missing items, what is the process within the store, and so on, to better merchandise for matching the need. I hope I'm clear.
I will add that since we are dealing with fast fashion and everything is very fast, as much as the retailer will have more information, they will be able to change the models or the colors or whatsoever according to the market demand.
This really is the golden age of retail, the acceleration that we're seeing in innovation, useful innovation. And hopefully we'll begin to drive toward some level of standardization so we can realize the full benefits of all that innovation. JW, I'm going to give you the last word on this. Talk about, what does the on-ramp look like? If there's a retailer out there, or someone interested in learning more about WiseSense and your partnership with them, what's the very best way for them to engage?
Yeah, I would say, regardless of who the retailer is, or who the stakeholder is, and meaning if you're in the distribution space or if you're in the store space or somewhere in between, please feel free to reach out to us. As Shuki mentioned, Barcoding is going through a merger right now with another company known as Decision Point Systems. So as we wrap up the year here, move into the new year, we'll be announcing that new merger as Decision Point Technologies at NRF. And working with the WiseSense team moving forward, we will be able to collectively, serve those customers to address their business challenges. And obviously, we, as Shuki mentioned, we're the North America partner for WiseSense and delivering those solutions. So we look forward to maybe seeing some people here on this session at NRF and be able to showcase those solutions that we're demonstrating and bringing to market for the new year.
Shuki, Sharon, and JW, of course, it's great seeing you all. Thank you so much for making time to visit. And we'll include more information in the description so people can follow up and engage with you. But thanks for your time and hope you have a great day.
Thank you very much for the opportunity and for your time. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Bye.